a surprise coffee stream today. I wasn't planning on doing this live stream today, but I need coffee. So we're doing a coffee live stream today. I'm the Speakeasy Brewer. I appreciate you joining me if you are joining me. And if you're a returning viewer, I appreciate you returning. If you are a follower of mine, thanks for following. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to have a handful of y'all who are fellow enthusiasts in terms of coffee or beer. We got a lot of things going on this week, and I'm just throwing this one other thing in for today. So anyways, just so everybody knows what's going on today, we're roasting coffee. Okay, I don't have a crazy coffee roaster. All we're doing today is we're going to be using a popcorn popper. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I'll tell you what, if you've ever been interested in making your own coffee, this is the easiest way to do it. You can, within 5 minutes, you can have your own coffee, and it's really a lot of fun, and it can be really good. So let me show you my equipment real quickly before I show you the coffee, and then we're just going to get going. So I'm sorry about my garage. For those of you who've seen my last videos and or have followed me and have messaged me on the side, you know that all of this is going to become a sick lounge slash man cave slash bar. So if you keep following me, you're going to start seeing this amazing transformation, and one day I hope to open it up as like a little speakeasy at some point in time. But let me show you what I got going on here. I'm sorry, I'm going to make you feel sick for a moment. But again, popcorn popper is all I need, so I'm just going to show you here. This is a Nostalgia popcorn popper. It's a hot air popper, basic sort of situation. I got this for $30 off of Sweet Maria's. It's a coffee distribution website. They're really awesome. They also have a lot of really great videos that are helpful for teaching you how to roast coffee. There's also all sorts of resources out there, but when you buy this for $30 plus shipping, they also send you 4 pounds of green beans to get going on it. So that's a lot of fun. So you get to choose your 4 pounds of beans, green beans, and they just come in a 1 pound bag. But anyways, this is kind of what it looks like. Obviously, this is a much bigger pack. I think it's a 5 pound pack. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, super easy. So for $30, you get 4 pounds of beans and a popcorn popper. Some other things I'm going to be using, just so everybody knows. I've got a cylinder, or a funnel, I guess, and a spoon. That is just a bamboo wood spoon. And then we've got this strainer with a lot of holes. That strainer is where we're going to be putting the freshly roasted coffee, and we're going to be cooling it down. I'm going to be using, since it's really hot out today, I'm going to be using this old school tech. It's just a nice fan, so we're going to just blow some air on it to help cool things down a little bit faster. So that's what we're doing today. Let me set you down here, and then I'll show you the beans that we're going to be roasting today. So first off, we're going to be doing Ethiopian. I love Ethiopian. Ethiopian is my favorite coffee of all time. It is amazing as a light roast. I've done it once as a medium roast, and it's also really good. It just depends on the variety of Ethiopian bean you get. But this one in particular, I mean, let's see if you can. So they're, pretty small beans. They are a little wet. Well, when I say wet, they're not like sopping wet, but they haven't fully dried, if that makes any sense. So there's still a little bit of moisture content on the inside of the bean. So as we're heating it up today, it's going to have to dry, which is going to take a little time. But again, each roast that I do, it's going to take about 5 minutes, and I will talk you through the whole process and make it super simple, because you too can roast your own coffee, and you can make it better than Starbucks or Dutch Brothers or whatever coffee that is around your area. So we're doing Ethiopian today, and I'm not going to do anything special with it today, just do a nice light roast because, well, I want to drink it here in the next couple days. And then in addition to that, we're also going to be working on, this is Panama Paso Ancho Carmen Estate bean. So it's a bigger bean. I think it's a little bit more dry, if I recall correctly, off of what I saw on Sweet Maria's. And this one They recommend it. You can do anything with this one. This one is a very, it's just a super flexible bean to work with. When I say flexible, I mean it can be a light roast, medium roast, or dark roast. So what we're going to do with this one today is I'm going to do all three of them. So we're going to do a light roast, we're going to do a medium roast, and we're going to do a dark roast. And then in a few days, I'll do a coffee tasting with my own coffee and talk about it, because this is what's so cool. Another thing too is each bean, it's kind of like grapes or even beer grains, that each grain, each grape, everything has its own like particular flavor, and especially with coffee will get a specific flavor based on whether the fruit so these are seeds, okay? See, these are like the pits of a fruit. So if you imagine like a peach or an apricot, they're not that big, but they're like berries. And then so there's this fleshy outside, and then on the inside is your coffee bean. And depending on the process that they do, sometimes the bean might have the flesh with it as it dries out, or they might just completely wash it and then let it dry. And if it sits with the fleshy part and dries with the fleshy part, it has a tendency to be more floral, more sweet, that kind of flavor. And without that, you start getting more of like the chocolate hints, or just kind of like the dry, earthy richness, which is great. So this Panama Paso Ancho from Carmen Estate, it can go, like I said, light, medium, or dark roast. And then the flavor profile is a nice tight range of flavors such as dark sugars, caramel, chocolate bitter sweets, almond biscotti, dark chocolate covered macadamia nut. Good for espresso. So with espresso, I've got an espresso machine, so I'll have to try it as an espresso, but I always have a tendency to do dark roasts for an espresso. But I should try a light and a medium roast, so I'll try that with you guys someday. But anyways, so that's what we're going to be going for, and the roast level will determine the kind of flavor profile we're shooting for. The darker the roast, the more chocolatey, earthy, kind of bitter it's going to be, and the lighter the roast, it's going to be usually fairly clean, sweet, and you'll probably get the caramel, maybe the dark sugars flavor, and maybe the almond biscotti with the light roast. And then the medium roast, you're kind of going to get a little bit of mix of both. So that's what we're going to be shooting for today, and I'll talk you all through the whole process. And I see one person's watching, so thanks for joining me. I don't know if I know you yet. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But if I do know you, thanks for watching. And if I don't know you, also thanks for watching. So without further ado, we're going to get going. I'm going to plug in this fan so we can get some airflow in here. Get that bad boy rolling. Alright, so we got that. We're going to turn on the popcorn popper, and we're just going to start letting it get heated up. Let's see here. Alright, so you can see just fine. We're going to be using the scooper. It holds about 3 grams of beans, maybe a little more, a little less, depending. So with the Ethiopian, the bean is a little bit smaller, and since they are wet, they're a little bit heavier. So you can get a lot more beans in this cup in comparison to what we're going to be doing with the Carmen Estate coffee. So I'm going to choose to just fill this up a little bit less today, just because from experience, when I filled this up totally, it just, the roast was a little off balanced. So what we're doing is we're just letting this popcorn popper heat up a little bit. It's going to speed up the process. And I put this in the light just a little bit, hoping to show you the color change. And in fact, what I'll do is, as the color is changing, I'll kind of try and zoom in a little bit, or move you a little bit, just so you can see what's happening. So it'll go from green, it'll go to this yellow to yellow-green, it'll be yellow-green to yellow, and it'll slowly start changing into a kind of a brown color. We're going to be shooting for a little bit darker than tan, maybe like a little darker than this tan couch color. And so that's what we're going to be shooting for with this in particular. As the coffee heats up, it's going to get to something we call first crack. So it's dry enough and hot enough that the shell itself, or the bean itself, starts to crack, and it's going to sound like popcorn popping. And that's first crack. And then when we stop it in the middle of that first crack, that's light roast. We let it go all the way through first crack until we don't hear any more cracking. That's kind of like the darker end of the light roast, and we're starting to get into medium roast. And the medium roast just sits right between, and the temperatures change incredibly fast, so it's really important that you time it. So we're going to time it with my phone once we get going with this. And so the medium roast after first crack is completely done and before second crack starts. And second crack is all the excess CO2 that's in the bean starts to get released from the bean, and so it sounds more like Rice Krispies in terms of the popping level. So that's kind of what we'll hear today when we do the Carmen Estate dark roast. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'll let that heat up here in a second, but I wanted to show you guys. I finally figured out how to share my screen with you. So let me show you guys the screen. I don't know if it's going to actually work this time. Let's see. Yep. Let me do this real quick. Sorry. I'm going to pop up here in 2 seconds. Done. Boom. Boopity boppity. Okay, here I am. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you my screen real fast. This website is what I've been using for looking at coffee. So it's called the Captain's Coffee. And this kind of goes through the process of what we're looking for. So this is the green at the very, very top that we're I just showed you. And then as it heats up, it starts to turn to this yellow, kind of yellow-green sort of color. And that's where the coffee's drying. You can kind of see the temperature range that the coffee bean is at that point. And then we start getting into what we call the cinnamon roast, which is a little bit hotter. And starting to get really dark, and then we get into first crack, or middle of first crack, which is right here. That's the city roast. For the Ethiopian, that's when we'll stop it, is right in the middle of that. It says where it's in the middle of first crack, then we'll pull it out. And then as you see, we got city plus roast, which is a little bit hotter, so it's light to medium, and then we got full city, which is full medium, and then it goes full city plus, which is medium to dark. And you could just see Vienna roast, and even the French roast is just it's black. And honestly, I don't really like that kind of stuff. It's just not great. I used to, but you could basically trot a donkey on it. It was so thick, and it was gross. And for me, now I'm shooting for coffees that are a little bit cleaner, and they're a little bit softer on the tongue, I guess is the best way to put it. And anyways, so that's what I'm shooting for. So here we go. I'm going to actually roast now. So let's get you all set up. We're going to turn this on for 2 seconds. I got my coffee all ready to go. This is the Ethiopian again, just as a reminder. And just so you know, if you go to Costco, you could get these jars. Artichoke hearts, they're pretty big. They'll last you about a week or so. Once you clean it out, you can stick it in the dishwasher to sanitize it, and then it works as really great as an airtight glass container. I'm not really into plastic, although you'll see me using plastic bags today because I ran out of jars. But we seal this up, and we're going to let the beans off gas for about 3 or 4 days. So anyways, that's what we're doing today. So let's get this bad boy rolling. Oops, I need to set a timer. Okay. Timer, here we go. And stopwatch. So I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to start that as soon as I pour the beans in. And this is going to help me figure out the timing for everything else. I poured it in, and it gets really messy. So if you are going to do coffee, you want to do it outside. If you're going to be using this for roasting coffee, if you actually have a coffee roaster, it doesn't matter. They have a catch system that's in place. But you'll see here very soon as it starts to dry, there's going to be a lot more chaff flying out. And I'm using this spoon because it's helping to keep and achieve a more balanced roast. until it dries out. Once it dries out, it'll actually rotate itself. It kind of gets to boiling. So you can kind of see already there's a lot of chaff that's starting to come out. And I'm pretty sure I've allowed you guys, if you're viewing this, to give comments. So feel free to ask questions or just say hi. It's more fun for me. It's more fun for you. And you know, I have to check that. Once I'm done with this roast, I'll check it and make sure, because I think last time I saw something, pretty sure I saved it. It said that only people who have been watching for like 10 minutes or have been a follower for a few videos can comment. So I apologize if that's the case. If you're trying to say hi, that's my fault. I'm a total amateur at this, so I'm figuring it out slowly. But let me show you real quickly. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. So you can kind of see. There we go, right there. Okay, so you can see it's kind of brown now. It's rotating on its own. And you can kind of hear it starting to crack. So that's what we're looking at. So we're right where we want to be. So once it gets to the middle of that first crack, we're going to pull it. But yeah, now it's getting real messy. This is why I do it outside. So we're at 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So I told you it takes 5 minutes to get your own coffee. If you want a light roast, you can get it done in 2 minutes and 20 seconds or so, just depending. It also depends on how hot the machine is before you put the beans in, and it also depends on the ambient air temperature outside. So I'm going to leave it in, I think, for just a few more seconds. The temperature changes really quickly, so when you get to where you want it to be in terms of temperature or color, you need to dump it really fast, and then the whole point is to cool it down as quickly as possible to stop the cooking of the bean. That way you achieve that roast level that you want. So I'm going to take it all the way to 3 minutes, and then we're going to dump it. Hot. Okay, so there we are. This is our light roast. This is the Ethiopian again. And now I'm just going to cool it down as quickly as possible. Sometimes I'll blow on it. It's my own coffee, so I don't really care. If I was actually selling this, I'd have to figure out something else. But then again, this is why this is why I brought this out. To keep that nice, consistent airflow going. And mostly because I also want to get as much coffee done as possible, because this is for me to drink. And I don't want to just sit here for hours on end roasting coffee. Now, one day soon, I am going to have a really nice coffee roaster. I'm trying to save up for it right now, and I'll be able to roast 1 pound of coffee at a time, and I'm really, really looking forward to that day because it's going to be so much more fun. So the cool thing is you get to follow me on my journey as I learn both coffee roasting, brewing beer, and improving the process, creating more efficient systems, more sustainable systems. But it's also fun because I'll be just learning a lot of new techniques as well. I'm doing a lot of reading on the side, and I want to bring you along with me just because it's fun. And maybe one day I'll be able to sell this stuff, or at least send people, an actual roast. Like I can send you a bag of coffee, or I can send you beers at some point in time. Or if you happen to live in Salt Lake, well, shoot, we might have to get you some beer or coffee at some point in time, and I promise I won't blow on the coffee that I'll be giving to you. So this is also another time. Right now the coffee is actually pretty nice. What I look for as it's starting to cool down is I'm looking for beans. So this bean's fine. Actually it's not. So you'll see it's a lighter color than the rest. Sometimes you'll get these dud beans. When that's the case, you just got to chuck it. So I just throw it out into nature, and nature takes care of it. So anyways, there's that. We're going to get the next roast going while I let this cool off. Okay. And then while we're doing this, Bear with me for 2 seconds because I want to make sure chat settings. Let's see, preferences. I don't know. Yeah. Identity preview. Let's see, chat filters are on. I don't know. Okay, bear with me. I'm a total amateur and troglodyte when it comes to technology. The other thing you get to see is you get to see me go from this crappy little, well, it's not too bad, but a crappy little camera and its mic and the bad lighting and the bad videography. You'll get to watch the whole process as I improve upon that. I'm looking at a new camera and a new microphone to improve the whole experience for you guys, so I'm not carrying around making you vomit on the other side. So I apologize ahead of time if I'm making you sick from moving things around. I think that was thunder, not a bomb. Okay, let's hope, right? Okay, here we go. We don't have time to worry about it. We got coffee to roast. All right. Brew beer, not bombs. What does it say? I have it. Oh yeah, make beer, not bombs. It's one of the brew stores I get all my ingredients from. That's one of their sayings. I like it. It's good. Also make beer, not drugs. All right, so I put the next beans in. Sorry, you're just looking at my nasty face. Again, I'm mixing it to make it more balanced as it heats up. My first roasts were horrible because I didn't do this, and so half the beans were like a dark roast and the other half were a light roast, and it was gross. It was bad. So anyways, let's see if I can. I'm gonna move this again real fast. I'm sorry. There we go. So the green still. Just rotating it. There's a little bit of smoke coming off. That's another reason why you want to do it outside, at least if you're doing this machine as the process, because it does create a lot of smoke, which means CO2, and also you don't want to get inhalation, you know. So you can kind of see, there we go. So you can kind of see they're going from green to yellow right now, and they're starting to rotate on their own, which is great. That's exactly what we want. Okay, see the lighting is just freaking stupid right now. But you can see how fast the color changes. It changes really quickly. So we're at about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Remember last time we got it, it was starting to pop at about 2 minutes. So we're at 1 minute and 30 seconds. So we should be hearing the crack here in about 10, 15 seconds from now. Oh, there's our first crack. Did you hear it? Let's see. I'm just going to say hi. I'm testing this out. Hi. Okay, got it. There's chat rules. Okay. Hi. If you can chat, just say hi. And this is good for me to hear whether you can hear my voice clearly, whether you can hear the popping. I'm open for feedback because I want the experience to be more fun for you guys. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. I gotta put this in the jar because we're almost done. All right, we're gonna let it go until about 3 minutes. We want consistency. Since we're doing such small batches, if you could keep things consistent, that means all the beans in the jar will be the same in terms of flavor profile and color and everything. So that's what we're shooting for. Consistency. Science it's all about keeping consistent notes, doing the same thing multiple times, and then changing a few variables to get different results. All right, there's 3 minutes. Okay, so again, we're mixing it up. I don't know if you can see the smoke, but there's just a little bit of smoke there. Again, I'm blowing on it a little bit. The beans in this round look pretty good. They look all right around the color we want. I don't see any that are so off color that I need to check them, so that's good. Another thing that you can do, when you're getting your beans ready is you can look for beans that might have like bug bites in it. Sometimes bugs will get into the beans and they'll eat the bean itself. So there's that. I think I got a little bit of smoke on this camera actually. It's a little hazy. It's like dreamlike. Let's see. I'm sorry. There we go. That's much better. Less dreamy. More steamy. That's what I'm all about. Steaminess, not smokiness. Oh, also, I'm really excited. So somebody told me that ChatGPT can help with all sorts of things like writing books or writing papers. You know, as a college student, you don't have to write anymore because ChatGPT is doing the work for you. Unless you want to be cool and write your own stuff. But I was like, hey, give me an all-grain recipe for this, blah, 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 blah. And, I mean, within freaking seconds, it gave me a recipe. So I put it into my beer app that I have on my phone. It's called Beersmith. I think I showed you guys when I did the beer recipe video. I put it in, and it looks good. It's got about 6.5% alcohol by volume, about 25% bitterness. It should be pretty pleasant, but I'm going to try that. And actually what I want to do is I want to do my own recipe first. So I'm going to do an IPA, and then I'm going to have AI do an IPA, and then I'm going to taste test between the two. Is a human IPA better than an AI IPA? And I'm hoping they're about the same. I'm also hoping that humans are better at it because there's a lot of variables that robots and AI cannot do. So anyways, there's that. Okay, so I'm going to let this cool down. It's in the airflow right now from that fan. And we're going to roast the next batch of Ethiopian. And then I'm going to take a break from the Ethiopian, and then we're going to try this new one, which is the Carmen Estate Paso Ancho bean. So bear with me. I'll try and keep it fast-paced and fun and exciting, because I think, you know, people don't have much of a attention span anymore. But then again, I guess if this is the food and drink channel, people are watching people cook food, and I watched a few videos and people are just cooking food in the background and not talking. So I'm hoping that I will be one of the unusual food and drink category channels that I get to interact with you guys. I want you to ask questions, teach you something, like how to roast your own coffee, how to make your own beer. Keep it simple, you know? I don't know about you guys, but it's more fun for me to learn when I have people that I'm learning with, which is another reason why I'm doing this. I'm not necessarily doing this, whoops, forgot to start the timer. I'm not necessarily doing this for the sake of being like a viral twitchy, I don't know what you call it, or that's just what I'm shooting for. I'm just using this as a motivation, and there's a handful of people around the country that I want to keep in contact with, and this is one of the ways that I can show them the process that I'm doing. So anyways, I've got some big plans for my beer. I kind of touched on it at some point in time that I want to build a brewery and use beer to make to do good in communities, but I'll reveal all that stuff as we go on this journey together. So the beans we're at 40 seconds. I'm gonna take off about 20 seconds when they start cracking before I dump them, just because I started about 20 seconds later. So we're gonna take it out about 2:40 or something like that. So take good notes, find out what the time is, keep things consistent, because the other thing too is you just want all the beans to be the same. But our next batch of beans, we'll probably just start off with maybe 1 or 2 batches of the same. Like one will be 2 batches of light roast, 2 batches of medium roast, 2 batches of dark roast. And then at some point in time, hopefully this week, I'll do a coffee taste and I'll talk about the different profiles. Usually a lighter roast is more acidic and less bitter and sometimes clean and clear. Usually you're getting your floral notes, or kind of like the light sweetness. It's pretty aromatic. And then the darker you get, you're starting to get to like that burnt sugar, bittersweet chocolate kind of level. My wife, one time, she was roasting coffee and she got distracted while she was roasting the coffee. And I think it was Ethiopian. I don't remember. Anyways, whatever it was, I mean, it was a happy accident. She was like, oh crap. So she messed up, and then she tried to stay consistent. So she just followed with the mess up and just whatever the mess up was. I think she let it sit for like 5 or 6 minutes. I mean, it was a long time. So the Ethiopian was in there until it was a dark roast for sure. But man, I'll tell you what, happy accidents do happen. And we popped it open one day after we let it sit for like 2 or 3 days to just settle and off gas. And when we popped it open, I mean, my mouth started watering immediately. It smelled like caramelized sugar. It was just fan-freaking-tastic. Alright, there's our 245. Alright, I'm pulling it out 10 seconds later than I said I would, so much for consistency. Don't breathe in smoke, by the way. You shouldn't even breathe in smoke from cigarettes. I smoke cigars sometimes because I don't want to breathe that stuff in, but if you do, just don't breathe in smoke. It's not good. Unless you feel like you need to, then whatever. To each their own. Life's short anyways. Alright. Let that cool off. I'm going to put these beans to the side. I doubt there's very many like super young children watching this right now, but I'm about to whip out a tool that's awesome. A knife. If you are using knives, be careful. Don't try this at home. Warning, sharp pointy objects can actually cause bodily harm and death. Okay, there's my warning. Okay. Now you can't sit there and sue me for saying, well, he said use a knife, and I stabbed myself in the throat and died. That's your own ass fault. Not mine. Okay, alright. Enough jokes, enough joking around. Okay. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. It smells very sweet already. It smells a little grassy. Honestly, it smells kind of like it's kind of got a mix between like a sweet chocolatey smell already, mixed with, I guess the best way I can explain it is it kind of smells like if you take green leaves from a tree or some weeds and you just kind of crumble it up and rub it really fast. You know, that kind of like sweet plant squishy smell, whatever you call it. Yeah, that's what it smells like, and it's just mixed with sugar. But yeah, so I can already see that there's this bean right here, which you can't see because this camera sucks. But anyways, it's tiny and it's brown, and I can tell it's going to be a dud. So there goes the bean to nature. So you could sit there and pull things out. And this one, I mean, this one looks like it had a bug. I don't know if you can see it. You definitely can't see it. But anyways, that's going nature. Okay, cool. The knife is going away. So this first roast, we're going to do 2 batches, I think. Yep, we're going to do 2 batches of each, just because I feel like that'll give us a better amount to roast coffee with. So that's what we're going to do. Hopefully you can handle the excitement, because I can't, obviously. Alright, so, alright, we got the airflow looking good. The thing is on. And here we go. So these beans are a lot bigger. So I'm going to do the full scoop in comparison to, oh, there's another bad bean right there. You can kind of see it's brown. Anyways, that camera sucks. So anyways, so yeah, I'm going to use a full cup. So here we go. Takes up more space. And similar to what we did with the Ethiopian, we're going to mix it up for that balanced heating and roasting. I mean, there's all these different ways of roasting too. You can roast it on a cast iron skillet. There's all sorts of ways that you can do it. I would love to try all the different ways, honestly, at some point in time, just because I think it'd be kind of fun. But for now, since I'm still kind of learning, I'm trying to keep things consistent. So I'm going to go with what I know first, and then I'll experiment later. I'm really excited to get the actual coffee roaster that can roast about a pound at a time. One thing that we did also for a while is we took notes. So we had paper in our little coffee box. And let's see if I can show you guys. Let's see. Oh. Let's see. There we go. So you can see now they're like yellow-green. They're just starting to change color. So that's what we're looking at. And in about a few minutes, they're going to be ready to pull out. Oops. Oh. Whoa, Nelly, I'm gonna make y'all vom. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at videography, obviously. I need some help. Alright. This is cooled down. If it's cool to the touch, it's good to go. So that Ethiopian is done. It's ready for this next batch. Carmen Estate Paso Ancho coffee bean. Still a lot of chaff with this bean, as you can see. Let's see here. Hold on 1 second. Chat. Yep. All right. There we go. Okay. Cool. Alerts. All right. Sweet. Save that. Okay. I'm figuring things out slowly but surely. All right, we're about 2 minutes and 25 seconds. We're starting to get that first crack, as you can hear. I also realize that it's shaking. I guess I'm not on a level part of my garage, so that's why it's shaking. I will do my best to keep the shaking to a minimum. So just out of curiosity, are you guys able to chat with me? Is that something you guys can do? Or not? I don't know. Whoever's watching, if you're paying attention, maybe send me a chat and just say hi, I think that'll work. And if it's not working, I gotta fix something. Alright. Alright, we're right about 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I heard the popping stop a little bit, but let's take a look at this in comparison. So it's a little lighter actually in color, but the popping did stop, so I'm kind of excited to see how this turns out. That's just a bean with chaff on it. So we're going to start cooling that down. We'll do one more batch of light roast. And I'm going to put these ones in a baggie. So, Ziploc bag for now, just because I ran out of jars. So we'll call this the Paso Ancho Carmen Estate Light. And today's date is 6/5/23. I'm trying to create good notes so that the information I get is again consistent. I'm a scientist now, so got to do the sciencey things. So let's put that up here with the pen. I'm gonna turn this bad boy back on. Sometimes with this popcorn popper, I don't know if you can see it, sometimes chaff will get in there. You want to do your best to clean that out. What will happen is that chaff will actually go through, and it'll go through the heating element, and it'll shoot out, and it'll be an ember. So there is a potential fire hazard, so I'm also going to give that warning out there. Roast at your own risk, but roast safely in an environment that's less conducive for inhalation from the smoke and carbon dioxide. Oh, I don't know if you saw that, but one of them just shot out as an ember. I hope somebody saw that. Anyways, here we go. told you I was gonna keep it up. I was gonna keep it from rocking the boat. Just pretend like it's turbulence. You might want to get a longer spoon than I have. This one has a tendency to get hot, so you have to move your hand. And the reason I tap it up like that is just because I have a hole in it, so I'd recommend having a spoon without a hole, because beans get stuck in there, so I just tap it consistently because beans have a tendency of getting stuck, and that's the only way to get it out is to bang it. So you can see, I think, yeah, you can see them rotating already. I'm sorry, that shadow kind of sucks. I'm going to have to get a special light one of these days. Let's do this. So you can see now the color in there. It's starting to turn that yellow, so it's dry now. We're going to start getting to that that cinnamon roast level here before too long. I mean, it changes so fast, the color and the temperature. I'll have to get a better view of this at some point in time just so you guys can see, but this is, you could see it real time just changing color. And it's nice, once it starts boiling like this on its own, then you don't have to do a whole lot. Alright, I think I heard one of the first cracks. There we go. I'm starting to get first crack now. We'll get the chaff out so we can see the color a little bit better. Also, agitating it helps to get the chaff off. Chaff doesn't really affect your actual end product at all, so if your beans have chaff on it, it's not the end of the world. Alright, I'm going to go back to the timer and make sure this is cooled off. It's cooled off enough. Beautiful looking color right there, huh? It's amazing. Sometimes this stuff is just so simple, it's kind of crazy. So I let it get to the last of the first crack last time, so I'm just going to let it go for a few more seconds. Alright, again, it's all about consistency. And there we go, we got the color that we wanted. Which is great. One thing that I will say, if you have a tendency to use this system in the wintertime, it takes forever to roast in the wintertime just because it's trying to heat up the beans, which are cold, and the air, it's sucking the air in, and the air is cold. So if you have like a insulated garage or something that you can kind of protect from wind and kind of keep that air heated, that helps. One of the things I did was I just put it in a box, and then I have a top for this, you know, for when the popcorn pops out, it just shoots out into a bowl. I had one of those, and I was directing the hot air back into the box so that it was already sucking up the hot air, and that was able to speed up the process. So alright, so this is our light roast. Okay, next we're going to do our, what did I say, medium roast? Okay, stop that. So, Paso Ancho Carmen Estate. Paso Ancho Carmen Estate. Medium. And this is 6/5/23. So honestly, there was still some first cracks going on when we were pulling that out, which is great because that's what we want. We want to pull it out before first crack is done. So with this one, we're going to let it go all the way through first crack. So I'm going to let it crack, and then as soon as I have, I don't know, probably about 10 seconds without a crack, I'm going to consider that done. And we're going to be shooting for just a slightly darker color. And then I'll put the darker roast in the jar that I have over there, and really looking forward to that. This is going to be fun to try with all y'all. I have, for coffee right now, I'm also going to try a bunch of different ways of not roasting, but brewing coffee. I have an espresso machine, so I'll play around with that a little bit, just to see how that changes the flavor of my coffee. But I would like to get a Chemex at some point in time, an AeroPress, that's what it is, a French press. I broke my French press a long time ago. And then the coffee maker that I use all the time is a Mocha Master 3000, I think. Mocha Master is really great. It's basically a pour over, so I probably won't do a pour over, except for the Chemex, which I guess is a pour over. But the Chemex does actually change the flavor. My buddy and I had a debate about this, and I was like, dude, you're so full of it. You're gonna spend $40 on this freaking Chemex? I'm like, it's the same thing as a coffee maker. Like, you're just wasting money. Well, he won that argument because he blindfolded me and gave me the coffee, and I mean, he could have been playing a joke on me, but I trust him. But he gave me coffee, and sure enough, the Chemex was better. So, anyways, kind of crazy. So, also kind of fun. It's good to do that kind of thing every once in a while. He now roasts his own coffee, and he and another friend of ours back in Bend, Oregon, are working on a coffee experience right now, as well as a coffee brand. It's called Hush Hush, I believe, unless he's changed it. But if you're ever in Bend, Oregon, you'll have to look him up. I'll find out what his Instagram is so you can take a look, because he puts all of his meetup times on Instagram. Hopefully you're in town when they do it, because it looks like a blast. Tons of people show up, and it's free coffee. So it's all about the experience, and it's about the connecting with people. And honestly, all we have right now in this world is each other. There's so much that we can be doing, but when it comes down to it all, it's about relationships, it's about friendships, it's about sharing life together, and you don't want to waste this life. I mean, you can waste it if you want to, being by yourself, but you're missing out on stories and memories and laughter and love, and you're also missing out on pain and hurt and difficult things, but that's just part of life, and I think it's important to go through that. Just makes us stronger, but it also helps us to empathize with people when they're hurting. So anyways, that's my philosophy for the day, and I don't know about you guys, but it's getting stormy out. So hopefully it doesn't do too much. You know what? Hold on one second. I'm gonna do this nasty. Oh man, I guarantee you, there's nobody else on Twitch that's as bad, like low streamer like me. But that's okay. All great things start small. That's my last philosophy for the day. Let's get this thing rolling, because I want to get other things going. Like, I want to have dinner, and I want to go do stuff. Alright. Are you ready? So this one's going to be a medium roast. And just a reminder, we're going to go back to this. Medium roast is... Yeah, you can see my face in the corner. I'm kind of excited about that. Alright, medium roast. That is City Plus. A little bit more. Full City. I don't have a thermometer. I was thinking of getting one of those infrared, gun thermometers, so you can see what the temperature is, because then that would actually help me figure things out. But we're going for Full City right now, and then we're going to Full City Plus. I don't know if we're going to go full dark roast on this thing, but Full City, this is when first crack has ended, but second crack has not begun. That's full medium. And then we're going to go Full City Plus, which is medium to dark. It's not quite dark enough to be called a Vienna yet, but it's just past full medium, and for some folks it's just right. There may be a few flecks of oil on the beans, and there should still be a fair balance between origin and roasty flavors. as well as a touch of more body. So that's what we're shooting for our last one. So this one, full medium, full city is what we're looking for. After first crack ends and second crack begins. Alright, here we go, bouncing back. You get to see the bajillion screens. It's like freaking going into the back rooms. Okay, here we go. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It's ruining my experiment. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes I like talking, if you can't figure that out already. But I'm also talking because I'm trying to make it less boring for y'all. And also because nobody's sending messages to me, so it's kind of hard to know for sure if anybody's interested or if they just got me in the background and I'm just like a cook show host that you just play in the background just to make it seem like somebody else is in the house. A friendly voice in the house. A ghost. From some soul far away in another land. Not quite dead yet. Hopefully I don't die anytime soon. I like life. Life is too good. Alright, there we are. It's going to town. Just a reminder, that's what the color is right now. It's kind of cool. It's right at the dry process, getting ready to go into that cinnamon roast, and then it's going to go to that city roast, which is the light roast. And we'll start getting that cracking right around that time. So 1 minute, 30 seconds. What did we do it for last time? It's like that. Anyways, we'll figure it out. Alright, get some chaff out. Alright, while you guys are watching this, for 2 minutes, I'm going to wait until the cracking is done. Hopefully I can do this fast enough. Settings. Sounds like the first crack stopped, huh? I'm gonna let it go just a little bit longer because it doesn't quite look dark enough for medium roast. Alright, so I just changed the rules. Followers only mode. Let's see, chatters. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so I got it all set up for you guys. Hopefully you can chat now. Oh, there we go, we're still getting some cracks. So it wasn't quite done yet. It was almost like there was a lull. So you can see the color now. Alright. Oops. Alright. I don't hear more cracks, that's probably good. So we let it go a little longer that time. The smell is different. It smells kind of like baker's chocolate right now. All right, so what was it? That was 4:30, I think, 4:20. 4:20. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna let that cool down. Again, keep the space clean. I'm all about cleanliness. Obviously, I'm not selling it, so I don't have to do the whole, food handlers thing. So, followers only mode for this chat. Okay, what did I do? Okay, so, hey, if you're watching right now, can you do me a favor and just chat something? It says, hi, it's for horses, or something, anything, just because I'm trying to figure out the chat thing. I set it up so that you guys can do chat. So all chatters must have a verified email. Okay, urban, let's see. I said followers only mode off. We'll do off. When enabled, viewers must follow you to. Okay, sweet. So let's try that. I just fixed that. So only, okay. Disabled followers only mode. So if you're not a follower, which is fine, I'm not hurt about it, but can you test it for me? Just say, what's up, bro? Or not. It's fine too. Could be just a bot anyways. Alright. Well, while I'm waiting for somebody to say, hey, that's not me, that'll help. Whoa! That was a lot of burning stuff. Okay. There we go. Start the timer. Mixy mix. There's some big weather moving in. That's kind of fun. You're going to see a storm live. If I was living in Tornado Alley, you might see a tornado live. That'd be probably one of the craziest live streams ever too. You're live streaming and then a tornado freaking rips through the house. It'd be sick. In a bad way. I mean, it would be sick and twisted because you'd lose your stuff, but it would be cool to the people who are watching it because they're like, oh my gosh, that's righteous. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. Alright, it's rotating on its own, which is good. I'm going to cool this off for a little bit. Oh yeah, you guys should check this out. So, when I'm doing my beer stream, I'm just excited because as I figure this stuff out, it's kind of cool to watch. So check this out. I got a countdown clock. Oh yeah, you're getting a sneak peek of what's coming. So on brew day, that you'll get a chance to see that, which will be kind of fun. Sometimes I'll put my hand in to mix like this when it starts to cool down, especially if I'm not using a fan like I am today. Kind of helps me get some more airflow in there. Okay, move this, get some chaff out. We got 2 more minutes before this coffee's done. Again, we're doing the medium roast, which is a blast. Let's see if the brew pumps in. He must be inside napping. Hopefully he's not destroying stuff. Not really seeing much of a difference in color. All I know is that these beans did stop popping. So they're just a tad bit darker. It's not a big difference though. So hopefully that won't be an issue. Let it go to about 4 or something. Alright, that seems like it's done, doesn't it? Doesn't seem like it's cracking much anymore. Alright, I don't want to... There we go. Oh yeah, that's a much better color. Oh yeah, it smells like chocolate. It's crazy. You can call me Willy Wonka. Alright. Also, I have you guys here if you are watching. I said something about how on Brew Day this week, which is going to be on the 8th, so Thursday the 8th. I said I was going to brew and then I was going to keg and do 2 different streams for that. That's a long day already for me with Brew Day, so I don't think I'm going to do the kegging on that day. Plus, with the kegging, if I keg it early enough and let it sit for a few days, then I can drink it in 2 days afterwards, because it's going to be under forced carbonation and it'll be ready to drink within a couple of days, and I want to try it before I have to go to work again. So, alright. Medium roast is done, so now we're going to work on the dark roast. And the dark roast, like we said, it's, let's look at this one more time. Let's look at the Tukasa. Yeah. Let's see. We're going to go here. Alright, so we're going to full city, so medium dark. Pulling a roast during the first few snaps of second crack is sometimes called full city. So that's what we're looking at. So we're going to wait just a tad bit longer. We don't want to... I don't really want to do like a full dark. Because a Vienna roast, I mean, that's black. Black, black, black. It'll be in the middle of second crack. You know what? Let's just do it. Middle of second crack. Okay? Sound good with everybody? I'm sure it does. Okay. I'm just really pumped because there's one person who's watching this whole thing, so you have instantly become my favorite viewer and follower. If you are our follower, you are amazing. Whoever you are. So, yeah, I'm just going to say that out in front of the world because the world needs to know that they're our favorites. And you're mine right now, so just saying. Alright, here we go. I don't need to let it sit and heat up too much, but just because, well, it's been hot and been used, so it's usually the first few times that I let it heat up, or if it's cold out, I'll let it heat up. There we go. So we're gonna let it go for like 5 minutes now. Sorry, it's rotating. I'm not having an earthquake. I know you were hoping that because you're like, it'd be nice if something cool happens. You know, if you don't have a spoon, another thing you can do, I'll just show you, is you could just do this and mix it that way, and it just allows the beans to kind of just get some hot air. It does help them. It's just as good as using a spoon, but I honestly like a spoon because it's less of a pain in the hiney. Alright, so we're right about 1 minute. So remember, the second crack is when it starts to sound like Rice Krispies and less like popcorn. Right now, my favorite coffee, local roaster here in Salt Lake, that's not myself, is it's called King's Peak, and I believe their light roast, which is called Sundial, is pretty good. So if you're in Salt Lake, I would definitely go find King's Peak. King's Peak Roasters. That's a good one. Some other good coffee shops to go to that have really good coffee is Public with a K. Public Coffee Roasters. Their coffee is really good too. And then La Barba. We also have Black Rifle Coffee here in Salt Lake. There's a few places around the country where they have their own facility, but we have a facility here, and their coffee, their light roast is really good. They have a roast called a Loyalty Roast. It's got a black lab on it with a red collar, kind of like my pup, and it's pretty good. And then Alpha Coffee and Black Rifle. A lot of their proceeds go to help military veterans, especially working with PTSD or dealing with PTSD. And then Alpha Coffee is the same one too. So they're all great. But in terms of like light roast and goodness, I feel like I'm more of like a King's Peak or Public Coffee Roasters guy in terms of like finer quality coffee. That being said, definitely support Black Rifle and Alpha Coffee because they're really good. Also, all right. So this is middle of first crack right now. So I'm gonna get this last medium. Should be cool by now. Oh yeah, it's cool. Get that out of the way. All right, that looks much better. I think, I don't know if you can see. Maybe, hold on. You can't see it. Never mind, the camera sucks. Just whatever. But I think I did more medium up here, and then it was a slightly lighter roast, so I'm just gonna mix that around. That's pretty much a medium on both sides. Okay, so we're at 4 minutes. First crack is done, so now we're waiting for second crack. It's gonna sound like Rice Krispies, like I said. Forgive me, I already know that I say things multiple times. I don't know why. I like to reinforce it, I guess. So waiting. We're at 4 minutes and 30 seconds right now. Oh, I heard a crack. Oh, you hear the cracking now? I don't know if you can hear it. Hold on. Maybe it's better this way. There's like some smaller pops in there. So right now we're at 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Alright. It's weird, it's almost like half the beans go through the crack while the other ones haven't yet. Anyways, okay, 5 minutes, 40 seconds. Oh yeah, that's a much darker roast. Look at that. So, again, just like every other roast, I'm going to cool it down. I would like to say it smells good, but it kind of smells like rubber. Alright, so 5 minutes and 40 seconds is what we did. Alright, so that's it. Looks great. Much darker roast. I'm noticing that there's less beans in this that are duds. So, yes. Okay, so I know nobody's paying attention right now, but that's okay. It's okay. I appreciate whoever's just got me running in the background. That's kind of fun. Just going to move you with me for a second. I'm going to let those beans cool down before I start the next batch, so I don't have to let the strainer be taken up for too long. Anyways, yeah, it looks like Bluey Fish 88 was the one that is watching right now. That's what I'm assuming, because it said 1 hour ago. I've been on a 1 hour stream right now, so anyways, so again, kegging, just as a reminder, I'm moving kegging from the 8th to the 7th. The 7th is the day I'm doing the yeast starter for the beer that I'm brewing on the 8th, okay? So, again, today is kind of surprise coffee stream, and the 7th, I'm going to do kegging. I'm going to keg my beer. It's an IPA. It's delicious. And then I'll do a second stream that's much shorter, and I'm going to be doing a yeast starter, probably about 20 minutes at the very most. I'll say 30 because I talk a lot. And then the next day is brew day. I'm going to start at 10:30 Mountain Time, and we'll be done probably about 2:30 Mountain Time. So jump in if you can. Ask questions. Please definitely blow up my chat, because it'll be more fun to have me answering questions that you guys might be having, or that kind of thing. So again, I'm still figuring things out, so if you want to say something in the chat about like, hey, the video looks good, or the sound quality is good, or it's good enough, or hey, you might want to work on that a little bit, that'd be great. And if any of you are videographers and you have ideas for cameras that or mics that might be good for me to use, that would be wunderbar. Okay. Alright, that's cooling off. That's feeling pretty good. Let's do our last dark roast. And then I'm going to let you guys, I'm going to cut y'all loose. Not that you aren't loose right now. You can just jump off if you want to. But oh yeah, also, I'm feeling extra festive today. I feel like I need to be in Hawaii or something like that. I wish I was in Hawaii. Don't we all though, right? I don't know why I'm looking past the camera. I'm looking at you now. Alright, here we go. Start the timer. 5 minutes, 40 seconds. That's what we're shooting for, right? Why do you want to be looking at me? You want to be looking at the action. Here we go. Boom. Alright, it's rotating on its own. I'll be right back. I gotta take the garbage out. I gotta be an adult even though I'm streaming for fun, so just bear with me. You get to watch this. I should probably get it actually roasting on its own before I get going. Alright, I'll be right back. Middle first crack. This is good. 2.5 minutes to go. Hey! I see something cool. Send a message. Yeah, I see. First time chat. You're the first person. Some goner. Dude, thanks for saying hello. Thanks. Some goner. That's awesome. You're awesome. Just want to say, I appreciate you saying hi. So, yep, some goner. We're making coffee. Now you know how. Yep, I'm sure with inflation this is a little bit more expensive now. Probably like $35, $40, but remember you get the free beans. But Sweet Maria's is where you want to go for all that. Oh. Okay. I don't know how to change that. Is that shield mode? Turn off? Okay. Hey, some gun, I appreciate it. Yeah, okay. I will take a snapshot of that, and I appreciate the feedback, man. I really do. Or lady, whoever you are, I don't want to offend. But yeah, okay, so like you said, it says you have slow mode on chat. It's meant for streams. Thousands of chatters. You're forcing viewers to wait half a minute between messages. Okay. Oh, sweet. Dude, I appreciate it. You're awesome. If I had a reward or something for you to just as a thank you, I would give it to you. But thank you. Really appreciate it. And some goner has taken first place for the person I like the most right now because they're getting involved. Your chat box lingers forever. Okay, yeah, I noticed that as well. Let me check something real fast. Okay, you hear that? Real quick. I'm gonna have to pause on that. I'll fix it here in a moment. We're getting to that second crack right now, and I need to move fast. Because there's 5:40 right now. Boom. Alright, now I can give you some focus. Alright, so noticing another issue though, your chat box lingers forever at this rate. It's going to fill up the screen. Okay, let me see what I can do. I really appreciate this. This is great advice and great help. Let me try this real quick. Chat. Unlock. How about that? Let's see. Test. It should move up, right? So some goner, if I appreciate this. You're just making my day right now. So I made the chat screen smaller, so it means everything's gonna kind of move through a little bit. Oh, dude, you are the man. Thank you. Let's see, feed. Let's see. I'm still figuring things out, obviously. So skip alert. I don't know. Sweet, dude. You are a lifesaver. So, since you're the only one that's on chat right now, do you have any questions? Because I am done with everything that I wanted to show you guys. So if you have any questions about roasting coffee or anything, let me know. If you follow me, I also do beer. So that's going to be happening in a couple days. So I'm kegging a beer on the 7th, and on the 8th, I'm brewing beer. So if you're interested, you can check that. Well, I'd like to know if there will be beer. Well, there will be beer. I do beer reviews. I have a lot of my own beer. On the 7th, when I'm working on the yeast starter, right before that, I will keg my beer. So it's real beer, and once I keg it, then I will taste test it. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, right on. So yeah, you'll get to see real beer. So yeah, just follow me. So the 7th, I'm kegging the beer, and then later in the day on the 7th, I'm doing a yeast starter, which I'll explain all of that on that day. And on the 8th, I'm actually brewing beer, and it'll be 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time is when I'm actually going to start brewing. It's kind of a long process, so having somebody like you will be awesome to make the stream that much more fun, because then I get a chance to answer questions. So please come with lots of questions. It'd be awesome. So you tag this stream as a rerun. People aren't going to click it if they see that. Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Gosh, I don't know how the frick to do that. Let's see. As a rerun. Okay. What a nerd I am. Okay. All right. Well, I'll figure that out at some point. Do you happen to know how to do that? If not, no pressure. I will figure it out. I will use Google to do that. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna make a note of that right now so I can fix it. I got notes because all I want to do is I just want to improve this experience for people, because it's fun. I like sharing with people. So change Twitch stream to not say rerun. Okay. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to go because I have a lot of other things to do. But Some Gunner, I really appreciate your feedback and your help. You have already improved it a lot. And I would love more. Stay frosty. Yes. All right. Well, like I say every stream now, it's my new sign off. Be adventurous, stay thirsty, and speak easy. Appreciate you, Some Goner. Thanks for all the others who jumped on for just a short second to see how things are going. I'll fix it so it doesn't say rerun, and I'll fix all the other stuff. So, Some Goner, I hope you're there on the 7th and 8th. No pressure if you can't make either one or both, but it'd be great if you can, and you could just be my coach for now. So, right on. All right, see you guys.